Hey, this is Roger Smith, the True Blue Lounge. Today I have Paul VanHorne, Creacho with me. Big man, how you do?
What's going on, brother? You good?
Yes, man. Yes, yes, yes.
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Can't complain.
All right. Creature, how did you get the name Creature? And is
Oh
it
boy.
Creature or Creature?
I would say it's creature.
With the
I
O.
mean, if you want to, if you want pronunciation, Creacho, creature.
Okay.
So how did I get the name? Well, believe it or not, there's a guy who we went to school. I don't think anyone knows him. Name is Dwight Coot. They call him they call him Gabby. That dude, if he ever gives you a name, that name is gonna go to your grave with you. So, when we went to school, it was at 77,
Yes.
and we were all in 1F. And growing up as a kid, I was a little on the heavy side sometimes,
I
and
remember that. I remember
I had
that.
I had some big jaw. My jaw were bigger. I even look back at some of the the farm photos, and it was the same time that movie Jaws came out. You remember that?
Yes, man.
And one day in class we were talking about it, and Gabby was gonna call me Jaws, and I said, "Yeah, Jaws, the most enticing creature under the sea." And he goes, Creature, that's your name, boy. So that's how I got the name.
Nice.
That's how I got the name, man.
So I don't remember when I remember, and I'm going back some years. So I'm going back 77, 78 when you got the name.
Yeah.
All I can remember is walking with Peter James and him shouting out. So obviously, you guys had PE at a different time from us. He'd shout out, "Creature!"
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Peter James had that voice, that cadet voice, So
Hey, you know that boy Peter James was trying to get another name stuck on me. He wanted to call me Milo, but that one didn't stick. It didn't stick
okay,
because
okay.
when we play ball, we usually go and drink Milo in the near the sports
I remember that.
yeah, the PE room, whatever it was. Yeah, right next to the bicycle shed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm really appreciative of you coming on my little forum. I know you've been elusive, but we're gonna have some fun today.
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna start something that's a little bit different because I need to know who I'm dealing with cognitively.
Right.
So, what first form were you in at Mannings School in Savlamar in 1977, sir?
1F.
Name 5 boys from that class and then 5 girls.
Holy cow, you crazy, man. Well, Dwight Coot,
1,
Lauderdale Reynolds,
2.
um, who else was in my class?
I'm glad I'm getting to you now at
No,
this age.
hold on. There was what was Roddy? I think Roddy Moore was in there. Gerald
Okay.
Moore. Yeah, I think Derek Sewell was there too. I think
Okay.
I don't remember. And oh, George McKenzie was there also.
Okay. That's 5.
Hmm.
And then remember, there were always more girls in the class than guys. Name
Yeah.
5 girls.
Oh my goodness. Um, Yvonne Porteous was one. I remember because we used to do farm devotions and
Singing sensation, Yvonne.
yeah, yeah. I gotta say, Yvonne, when you see this, I just want you to remember that you were one of the first persons who told me I could sing. So I just want to remember we were singing that song for devotion, stand up for Jesus. And I was singing with you. And you said, "Oh my God, you could sing." So thank you very much for those words of encouragement. And I've kept it up to date. So I'm still singing. So, but anyway, Yvonne Porteous was one. Um, I think Cheryl Thomas. I think she was in my class. Who else? I think was Alec. I think Alec Ruddock was in my class too. I think. Um, what was this girl again? Campbell. What's her last name? I
Yvette?
don't. No, 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 no. It was she was little, very, very small girl.
You know, I'm so glad I asked you these questions. And please,
Right.
during our chat, if you do remember them and you're able to redeem yourself, that
Yeah.
you know 5 girls and 5 guys from your first film class,
Yeah.
I'll allow you when it comes back to you. Not a
Okay.
problem. Not a problem.
Hey, let me take a drink of my wine here and see if it will bring back anything.
All right. I hope it does. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Go.
So
You getting there?
a bossy day in Mannings, lunchtime. Where does Creature go for lunch and what does he
Oh,
buy?
no, I've never gone for lunch. I always go home.
Wow.
I always go home for lunch. Let me tell you, bro. My parents were, we weren't rich, but I could tell you, they always provided lunch for us every day. So I walk home. Sometimes I'd ride, you know. Sometimes my brother Fitzgerald Patton would, put me on his bicycle and we ride up because we live close to each other. And I go for
Does
lunch.
he have a name? Stomach? Is
Stomach.
this stomach? Okay.
Yeah. Hey,
So
you know who give him that name to, right?
no, Gabby.
Oh, who else?
Oh boy, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Man,
Yeah.
stomach. Yeah.
You know, so me and
Yeah.
Fitzgerald go back a long way. We went to church together in
Oh, good.
Pipers. Yeah, he's from Bogey,
Uh-huh.
Strat Bogey. Where
Yeah.
did you come from?
Right up a Goodens River, man, next to Sabhan.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Nice. So when you went home, what is that special lunch that your parents provided for you? What would be
Well,
favorite to you? Favorite to you?
I tell you what, my dad used to ride his bicycle and go get that nice hot cocoa bread. So when it's about lunchtime, he would go down, pick it up. So when I get home, it's there.
That's a dad of dads.
Oh my goodness, man. You don't want me to start with that guy. That's the best man I know. I've never met any man like him. That
Wow.
man was like my my rock. Both
Okay.
my parents, very, very good.
That's nice. Tell me something. So this is all about getting to know you, So
Yeah.
iOS, Android, what I deal with?
Android, man,
Um,
100% Android because of all the hacks you can do. Because I'm into IT, so I can't bother iOS. It's too proprietary.
Mac,
So Android.
Windows.
Mac, of course.
All right, all
That's
right.
funny.
Yeah, flip
That's
flop.
no. There's a reason why I do Mac because the interface, audio interface, works better. Like I do DJ sometimes, so the audio interface with DJ controllers seem to work a lot better, more stable. So,
Do you own a Technics turntable? Come here, say I DJ.
no, I don't own one.
Have you ever had one?
Yes,
Okay. Just checking.
long, long time.
I'm trying to check what kind of DJ. You could be a digital DJ or you could be an old school. So
No.
you've never
I'm
been a
not old
DJ
school.
with it. You never used to lift box, speaker box. You weren't one of them guys.
Well, I still do, right? Because I
What
have to have
real
lift box.
speaker box? Okay. You're a real
Yeah,
DJ.
you
All
have
right.
to. Yeah, you have to.
You're not
I
the
mean,
guy that runs around with his Mac, just open his Mac up with his headphones and act cute.
oh no. Yeah, because as much as these speakers have changed over the years, from passive, where you had to use an amplifier, now they are most of them are powered, So
Nice.
instead of me carrying a speaker, an amplifier, I just bring one speaker, So
Cool.
yeah,
What's your drink of choice, creature?
vodka cranberry with a splash of lime or lemon.
And what kind of vodka is that?
Um, I like Tito's
Okay.
or I like What's that one?
Belvedere?
No, 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 no. Grey Goose.
Grey Goose. Okay.
Yes, yes,
All right.
yes.
None of that Diddy oil stuff in that
Oh,
syrup.
oh no,
Okay, good.
no, no,
Just
no. We
making
don't
sure.
want. We don't want to go there.
Okay, okay.
No,
Nice,
no,
nice.
no,
None of that syrup stuff. Okay.
no, no,
You're
no.
going to a restaurant, high-end restaurant. What are you ordering to eat?
You mean as far as Jamaican kind of food or
No, no, just high-end.
high end? Hmm. I'm a fish guy, so I usually, maybe something like mahi mahi or maybe swordfish. Um, so I sometimes I do grouper, but I've been eating so much grouper nowadays. If I go to a high end restaurant, I'll probably do like swordfish or something like that.
And what's your favorite starch with that?
Starch, maybe sweet potato.
Okay. Can you cook?
Absolutely, man.
And what is your go-to meal that you cook?
Well, I make some really good jerk chicken. My wife will tell you that for sure. Jerk chicken. I make jerk pork. Um, I can do oxtail, curry goat. Um, but more a lot of times the kids might come over. Dad, can you make me some jerk chicken? Okay. So I'm known mainly for jerk. You know. So
You're putting my like me to shame and not even know, I won't even ask you nothing about that.
really,
No, no, no.
yeah,
I can cook rice,
yeah. How
bully
about rice
beef.
and peas?
No, 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 that's too much. Bully beef, tin mackerel. You know the way they have me.
Oh
I'm
man.
from the Michael Manley sufferer days. You know what I mean? When they were marrying things. So hard bread and and Libby's beef. That's how we used to run it.
How long you married now? Must be not very long, right?
31 years. No, 31 years.
Oh,
31 years.
good,
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
good, good,
My
good, good.
wife does all the cooking. She ain't
Hmm.
used to all them 1977 meals that I can cook from Jamaica.
Right, right, right. Well, it's the same here. My wife does all the cooking. I just every now
Just
and then
eat.
I might do some. I just yeah, and I do some of the cooking every once at 6 months or something like that.
What
So
primary school did you go to?
staff primary.
Okay, okay. So you remember all the guys them from that went to school with us, Biggs and all them, and they went to that school, Silla and all. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right, just
yeah.
trying to find out, figure out. So when you leave the school, how do you meander to where you live? Walk me through how you come out of the school front gate, you take a right, and then where do you go?
You mean staff primary or
No, no,
Mannings?
to your house from Mannings.
From Mannings, yeah. So if I come out to the gate, I make a left.
Okay,
And I just walk.
okay. Like you go from
Land
where?
dialogue. Yeah.
Land Isle. Oh, you take another left. Land Isle, like you go Negril way.
No, 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 man. When I make the left out of Mannings, I just keep walking
Okay,
past where that let me see Sab High. Remember Sab High School?
I think so. So
Yeah, man.
did Man Bat used to live near where you live?
Well, he would go the same direction, but he
Okay.
was probably about 2 miles up the road.
Okay, okay. Just checking, just checking. We'll make sure we know where you come from and where you're good for.
Yeah, man.
So, walk me through graduation, 1982.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to say who was on your arm, but it would be nice for everybody to know who was on your arm. And tell me from graduation to where you are in Fort Lauderdale, just give us some discrete steps to where you went to be the man that you are now, sir.
Well, first of all, 1982, there was no woman on my side. Yeah, I was probably one of the few guys on the soccer team that never had a girlfriend. So my first girlfriend came.
By the way, when you say never had a girlfriend, there's so many meanings to that.
Yeah, from high school. I mean,
You
from yeah. Well, I my first girlfriend I had was 1983 when I was in sixth form.
wow. Okay. Let me shut up and make you go on.
Does that answer the question, man?
Virginal Mr.
Hey,
VanHorne.
hey, hey, hey. So, yeah, I remember I was a church guy, and I'm still a church guy. But anyway, so to where I'm actually not Fort Lauderdale, but Lakeland. Uh, it was a. Let me see how quickly I could tell you. So I left Mannings, um, worked at, you know, two places in between. Then I went to CAS, computer science. Um, Prior to going to CAS, I met my first wife. We migrated to Nassau, and then we migrated to New Jersey, all right? And then migrated to, then we left New Jersey and come to Lakeland.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. So was it easy the transformation from Jamaica to Nassau?
It was because she was already there.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, because we got when we got married when I was in my final year at CAS, and because she was a physical therapist, so she was already established, and so she came home, we got married, she went back, then I finished, then I went.
CAST, College of Arts, Science and Technology, now called UTech in
Yes, sir.
Kingston, Jamaica.
Uh-huh.
Just making sure we everybody. Hey, the show international, you know. So
Hey,
I'm just letting you know.
remember, I'm old school, right?
Yes.
CAS,
Yeah,
CAS,
CAST. Yep.
CAS, CAS. Yes, yes,
So
yes.
tell me about a job that you done in your early days that you didn't like at all.
I didn't.
You didn't like at all.
Roger, I'm gonna be honest, man. I liked all my jobs.
You've liked them.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, like I said, I was very fortunate that my parents weren't rich, but you know, even though I was working, I never really had to work. So it was just money for me. So it was fun. I leave work and I get my $60, $100 per week. I'm good. You know,
So who was minding you? Who was taking
my
care of you? Oh,
my
even when you started working, they were taking care of you.
yeah, I lived at home.
Okay, okay. Till what age?
Uh, 20. Well, I went to CAS at what, 22, 20, yeah, something like that. Until I was about 22. But then the last job I had before I went to CAS, I, even though my parents never asked me to, but, I worked at Froome.
Okay.
And, that job I really liked
What were
because,
you doing at Froome?
I was like I worked in the cultivation department just as a clerk. That's it. Where we, especially during crop season, it was very lucrative at that point, at that time, I should say. And then what I do with my parents, I would, I get my pay, I just take it home and give it to them. I never even, I never even bothered with it. I just take it home, gave it to them. I was putting aside some money because I know I was going to go to CAS UTech. So I was just putting aside some money so I could, And then it was the year before I left was when I met my first wife. So when
Okay.
I left, yeah.
Tell me, Creature, about a time, a really difficult time in your life. And more importantly, for me, is to understand how you got up, how you recovered. A dark time in your life.
Well, I've had really two very difficult times in my life. I mean, very, very difficult. And both had to do with my wives, where I lost my first wife to breast cancer.
Sorry to hear about it,
Uh,
man.
yeah, that's the good Lord knows why. And then My current wife, she was also diagnosed. So, she had been through a rough time too, but, thank God she seems to be good right now. So those two times, I mean, were very, very difficult. So,
Wow. Sorry you had to go through that, man.
yeah, yep.
So more importantly, what allowed you? What was a coping mechanism that allowed you to keep going on? Because these things are tough. I know a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people don't realize, even though your loved one is suffering,
Hmm.
you are. And I'm not trying to take away their suffering, but people don't realize that you're
Yeah.
trying to fix stuff and fix yourself at the same time. Because as a man, a good man wants to make it okay. How do I
Yes.
fix this?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm hurting too because I don't want, I'd rather it happen to me, not you. So
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah.
like to know.
Well, that's interesting because I remember, especially the second time around now, when, she was laid up in the hospital several times. And we'd have friends come over and they'd ask, man, how you do it? Because a lot of people don't realize that when your loved one, especially like a spouse, when they're going through this situation and you are the primary caregiver, it's probably equally as hard for you as it is for the one that's actually going through the treatment, because you have to be there in for almost every decision, everything that's been done, every treatment, everything. You're just always there. So I've had my share of going to the doctor and they say, wow, what's going on in your life, dude? And I tell them and they go, oh, okay. But through it all, one of the things I do is I'm very conscious about health. So I make sure that even in those busy times, I find time, like the last time my wife was in treatment for like 30 plus days and we had to be at a hotel near the cancer center. I made sure that the hotel had a gym. So I'd wake up early in the mornings, go to the gym, and I do this every day. Then when she came back home, I have a gym here at home. So I make sure I get my workout in, go to the gym, that kind of thing, do my walking. Because you need to release some kind of stress because it gets very, very difficult. Very difficult. I remember my mom told me, she said, boy, I have four children. And if there's any one of them that could deal with what's going on with you right now, it's you. I try not to make it bother me, but it does. Of course, I'm into my church, so I pray to God constantly, and I just ask Him to give me the strength to deal with it. You know what I mean? So that's how I'm able to get through things. Of course, I get support from family, from friends, but in those crunch times, a lot of time they can't be there. So I have to find the strength from within to deal with it. Yeah. So.
This is why I like these kind of conversations, It's
Hmm.
about these inspiring stories, Paul. We know you, we know how jovial you are, we know that you
Yeah.
like to
Yeah.
laugh, but the idea is we want to inspire one another. And
Right.
the way
Right.
we're inspiring one another is about telling these stories and making
Yeah.
sure that other people know, hey, we all go through stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
So I know you're religious,
Hmm.
and let me know how religion helps you through your life. What is it about religion itself? Because Roger's the guy that has a million questions when it comes to religion, but
Yeah.
that's for another podcast between me and you and religion. But what does
Yeah.
religion? How does it help you, sir?
I know you have a million questions, but I have one answer. One answer. I just find the God that I believe is my creator, and I just listen to Him as closely as possible. and just follow what he says. So that's it.
When he talks to you, is it like in your mind, meaning you're you're led, or do you hear the voices?
Well, I don't hear voices. There are some people who claim to have heard voices, but I haven't. And it's not that I disbelieve them. But sometimes he speaks to me through a simple song I'm listening, or sometimes when I'm reading the Bible, you know, that's another million question for you from you there. But when I'm reading it, depending on where, of course, if I get up and I feel like I want to read from a certain book, there are times when I feel a message from what I've read, and I know it applies to me, you know. So that's basically how I hear from him.
Okay. Um, do you want to be cremated or buried?
Roger, it doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. Whichever way, when I depart this life, whichever way works best for my whoever is gonna be, I don't have a problem.
I tell my wife just take the cheapest route. Cheapest route. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not even
yeah.
sandwiches and white rum. You know, from the hospital or the yard straight to the crematorium and dash with the ashes. That's what I
Oh
say
my
to her.
God. Oh my God.
What do you think happens to us when we die?
That's a good question. Um, I believe, Roger, that there is life after death. There is something after death. I believe that. And because,
Before you
books,
go on,
yeah.
my life so hard, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Me no want one next one. This is
You know
it.
what I
I'm,
mean?
I'm hoping. I want to go back to the place I was before I
Well,
was born. Go
first
ahead,
of
sir.
all, first of all, when you depart, that this whole body of yours is gone, right? And but this your soul lives on. That's my belief. And I know you might think otherwise, but that's just my belief that your soul lives on. And
Why would you think I would believe otherwise? I could believe like you.
hey, I've seen your conversations. I've seen your your responses to messages in the chat room. So I believe I know where you stand.
I'm a provocateur creature,
Very,
and I will
very.
argue about if you say brown, me say black. If you say black, me say white. I'm all about engagement, and
Yeah,
this is why I'm doing this right now because I just love to talk.
yeah, yeah.
So, creature, you were on that bus that took
Mm,
Hopton Kelly's life.
yeah, yeah.
And I felt the need to ask everybody I knew that played on that Elron Cup the
Hmm.
question. And the reason why I want to ask you about the effects of being on that bus that a 13-year-old died on that you were traveling on is that when I spoke to Manbat and I spoke to Gabby, I speak
Hmm.
to Dodger, I'm feeling, oh, and Gramps, Derek Harding,
Hmm.
everybody has a real, it's like they remember it like yesterday, and
Yep.
it has had a lifelong effect on those guys that I mentioned. And I
Hmm.
don't mean it just to be frivolous. When I talk to them, they are really still struggling,
Right.
some more than some. So I just wanted to know how you felt and how you've overcome it, knowing that there wasn't any people, there weren't no pastor that came to church to talk to us at the time.
Oh man, Roger, that I don't think I'll ever get over it. But I I did have some kind of closure last year at the '82 reunion. Where I know Gabby and Daja were very, Bobby also very instrumental. in you know, having us do this Hope and Kelly Memorial. I really appreciated it. We all played soccer, we all had fun. But I think, because we were young, we were 13 years old. So I think, when we know that we are in our 50s and we realize what really, really, really happened, the fact that we could get together and have this memorial for him, I found some closure. But it's not, I will never, never, ever forget that incident.
Do you think it affected you in life after that, or it was just one of those memories that, wow, I've been through something, even as a youngster?
Mm, I wouldn't say it affected me, but it has always come up in my mind.
Understood, understood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I didn't think it really affected me, you know. So,
Okay, so I'm gonna take you to another part. So I left in 1980. Yeah, you were the goalkeeper, but I don't remember you as being like a Spider-Man. But it seems as though after I left, you became the goalkeeper of goalkeepers. And I had the good fortune of speaking to Mr. Green, and he
yeah.
told me how great you were, you know?
Oh,
So,
he did?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You didn't watch our interview? Make sure you watch it, you know? All right.
Of course I watch it. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
messing with you.
And
Yeah.
everybody like and subscribe. So,
All right.
what I want to know is, so going to throughout Mannings school, who was the goalkeeper coach? And it may sound me frivolous me asking you such a dumb question,
Yeah.
but just seeing high school, even probably junior schools here in the states, there's a goalkeeper coach. So who was teaching you to be goalkeeper, and where were you learning the
I mean,
craft?
all my years up at Mannings, up until when Mr. Green left, it was Chief, man. Are you kidding me? Chief is the one who I mean, that man was incredible. That's all I gotta say. Chief, enough respect, big up yourself. When you see this, just know that you are one heck of a coach. Um, the little things he would do, Roger, he would take me and I would stand right next to the remember where we had that long jump pit?
Yes.
And he would put me up against the fence and he said, "All right, VanHorne, watch this. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. I want you to do that. This is how you cover here. This is how you cover here." And he would kick that ball at me sometime. I'm wondering if he was trying to kill me. Yeah. But those little things. And he constantly talks to us about the game of football. That man would strategize things that, to be honest, I don't see that kind of stuff anymore in soccer. It's just a different game today. But I owe it all to him for doing that. No, don't get me wrong. There were other goalkeepers, inside at the same time.
You
That
do you
that
care to mention? Because who was? Do you
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
Chichi? You remember Chichi
yeah. I remember Chichi.
and
There were,
Spider?
yeah,
Who
yeah, yeah.
else? Who was the Westland
Um,
goalkeeper? Westland, is it Westland?
yeah, Westland. I think it was this guy. What's his name? Goldilocks.
Okay.
Yeah, you probably don't know him. He actually died. I think he was struck by lightning a long, long
Wow.
time ago. Yeah, yeah.
What are the
But
chances?
I know. But those guys I learned a lot from. I mean, Spider-Man Wedderburn, of course, he would take me sometimes and he'd say, "Do this, check this out, check this out." Chichi, of course, those guys were older than me. So, every now and then I'd talk to them. But my core years as a goalkeeper, I have to give it up to Mr. Green.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
let me
yeah.
ask you this much: was it Spider who, when there was a penalty, he would have his back turned? Do you remember that? And he'd
Yeah, yeah,
switch
yeah.
around.
Yeah, he
Where did he get that from? That wasn't a Premiership thing.
I don't know, but he would turn his back and he would hang on to the net. And then all of a sudden, when it's time, he just jumps around and he's like a cat. You know,
Wow, wow, wow.
Roger. I have to mention this that in Mr. Green's interview, he mentioned that Andrews scored a goal on me. And Chief, if you're watching it, I know we all make mistakes, but it was actually Andrew Bailey of Veer Technical, because we didn't play with Andrews. So I wanted to just make him be aware. He just made a simple mistake. So, but that was it.
All right, Chief. True Blue Lounge, just making sure we keep everything
Yeah,
everything real, real, real. So,
yeah.
Creature, name me, a book that you're reading, or what's your favorite program? I want to know, if you watch TV, what are you watching? If you read a book, what are you reading?
Well, I'm not gonna go with the reading part. My wife knows I don't like to read. The only books I read, Roger, or I shouldn't say the only books, but the books I spend a lot of time in are books that deal with technology. And in my line of work, database administration, I spend a lot of time in those books. Of course, I read the Bible, but most of my time, because I'm always trying to figure out stuff going on at work, database is down, not performing right, you gotta you gotta fix them. As far as movies go, um, I like Sylvester Stallone, so I like watching the First Blood and all those kind of stuff movies.
You like
So I enjoyed it.
all that manly men stuff, yeah?
Yeah. And believe it or not, you know, from time to time, I hope nobody, you got to say this real quietly, but I watch a $6 Million Man, and I watch The Incredible Hulk.
Okay. No, I used to watch Steve Austin as well, man. Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
I
I,
used to
I
watch.
still do.
Yep,
I
yep,
still
yep.
do. From time to time, my wife would walk in the room and she said, "Honey, what are you watching?" And I'm like, "Oh my God!" But I love it. You know, maybe that's how I relax sometimes. So, yeah.
If you can have dinner with someone living or dead that's passed and have dinner with them now, who would you choose? Give me a couple of people you'd want to sit down and have dinner with.
Well, my parents, of course. My first wife, absolutely. Because she gave me a beautiful daughter, and living or dead. Uh, my wife, my current wife, she's living, right? So I'd love to have dinner with her, which we do sometimes. Um, you mean somebody famous? Is that what you're talking?
No, they're all good. They're all good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're
Well,
all
there's
good.
a
I
lot of people,
mean,
man. My friend Gabby, I'd love to sit down and have dinner at Gabby and talk about the 1978 Aileron Cup champions,
yeah.
because that was a remarkable victory there for us. Of course, my friend Russian,
Okay.
Russian, yeah, man. I mean, and Russian, I just want you to know, my friend, hang tight. I have to make another trip to London soon, so just hang in there. I'll be there. Yeah. So.
Nice, nice, nice. Hey, I think so. So I know all the characters that you just mentioned, Paul. What I think is you know, it's amazing that we're in a situation wherein, we don't actually take time out to spend time with loved ones. You know what I mean? And we wait until they're gone. So, I try and live every day like it's my last, and
Right,
and
right,
just
right.
be. I just want to be that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so tell me about a really high time or highlight in your life.
High time. Okay. Um, I think, I would have to say my trip to London and Paris. It was back in 2017. I remember we did the whole European thing cruise Mediterranean, whatever it
Who
is.
is
My
we?
wife
When
and
you
I.
say we,
My wife
present
and I.
wife or ex-wife?
Yeah, no, present wife, present.
Okay, cool.
My first wife died in '99, so it's been 20 odd years now. So we did this whole European or Mediterranean cruise thing, Italy and all those places. And I told her, I said, well, she said to me, she said, honey, why don't we just, because I'd never been to Paris at that time. And what we did, because we are tennis fanatics, we love tennis. We said, you know what? Why don't we just do London and hop over to Paris for a while? So, I see the Eiffel Tower and everything. She's been there because she worked for the airlines here in Jamaica. So she's traveled the world. Now I'm halfway there with her traveling the world. So my highlight was when we went to London and we went to Wimbledon. And I could see all tennis players that I wanted to see. I mean, all the good guys: Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal, Djokovic, Andy Murray, all the ladies, Serena, Venus. They were all there. So that was a true highlight, something that I probably, I don't know if I'll ever do it again. Even though I hear my wife say, we may be going back to Wimbledon, but I know we want to do London again. So I got to see my friend Russian. So um, that I think was the main highlight. And then we went over to by train, went to Paris, so hung out at the Eiffel Tower and everything. So that
Nice.
was some good. That was some good times, and we've been traveling everywhere since.
That's good.
So yeah,
It's all about living life like it's your last.
you got it.
So,
You got it.
so, Paul, what would you, as you've matured, what have you learned about yourself?
Well, I think the biggest thing I've learned about myself is whatever I imagine, whatever I can think about, that I want to do, I can do it. Um, I just feel that I have this drive in me that, if I say I want to drop 20 pounds, I can do it. You know, if I want to accomplish something, achieve something, I can do it. So, and that's been my motto for years now. That anything I can do, my kids always ask me, how do you motivate yourself to go to the gym, walk 6 miles every day, do all this stuff? That's because I'm determined to do it.
Do you have any
So
vices?
no,
No
not that I
vices
know
at
of.
all.
No.
I'm still trying to figure out. I'm trying to put you in a box, and I can't put you in a box yet because you have
No,
no
please,
vices. All right, but I'm
please
trying.
don't put me in a box. I
All
don't want to be in a
right,
box.
all right, all right.
Hey, let me take another drink. Let me
Yeah,
take
yeah,
another
yeah,
drink.
yeah, man. Go on with it. So, and this is a difficult question for me. What was it like? When I ask what is it like, I just want you to internalize how you were really feeling and how you overcame it. But we're all of that age. We're all going to lose someone, but you've lost someone early. What was it like going through the loss of your best friend, soulmate? What was that like?
Roger, I tell you what, that was, I've lost, I mean, even though I lost her before my parents, but I remember for about well over a month, I could not work. I was fortunate that my job was very understanding, you know, so I just couldn't work. My type of work is always thinking, analyzing, doing stuff, trying to figure out things, but I just couldn't. There were days when I was just my daughter and I. She was only 3. There were days when I'd come home, like we go to church, and I just throw myself in the bed and just bawl like a baby. It was extremely extremely difficult. I to be honest, I really don't know how I managed, but
Wow.
I had close friends around me. I remember when we went to the service, the funeral in Jamaica, and I got back, I had some friends from church who just called me up. Hey, we're going to see this band, Chicago. I'm sure you heard of Chicago.
Yep.
Yeah, and they said, yeah, we got your tickets and everything, so come on, you know, and we'd go, you know. So friends like those, um, and of course my family, my brother and his wife, they were they were always here, you know. I
You
had
know,
to
no,
I had
sorry.
to move. I had to move from the house where we lived. It was just so difficult, So
Paul, that's why I want to be different. I want to be able to learn because, a lot of us just don't know. We don't talk, we don't ask the questions, you
hmm
know, we avoid. And sometimes,
yeah,
I've had, very close friends of mine that have had like, their fathers pass or whatever. But because I'm always very blunt naturally, I
right.
just don't want to say the wrong thing, but I want to ask the same questions I'm asking you. And that's why I'm so glad this platform allows me to just ask
Yeah,
the
yeah,
question. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So,
yeah.
so you told me, you cried and whatever, and people, but what did you have to do? Just prayer and fasting? What did you do to get yourself up or
You
time
know,
healed?
time. That's all I was gonna say. Time. I think time was the most important ingredient in all of this because it was only with time that I got over it, and it took a while. It took a while, but it was like a year and a half or so later that I started dating again. Um,
So long?
yeah, I
Wow.
mean, my present wife and I, we were talking, but you you, you want to go. For me, I wanted to take it easy. I wanted to, you know, just relax for a while. I I was still wearing my ring. I still had her pictures up in the house, and then gradually, as we started dating, then eventually got married. Of course, when we got engaged, I taken down everything, like, you know, put the ring down, but it just took time. And I mean, meeting Dawn, and chatting again really, really helped me
That's good.
because I felt alive again. That was
You do
all.
you do know that at these times of grief, you're very vulnerable. So you're lucky.
Yes, yes,
You're
yes.
very lucky because in the church they wouldn't scrape you up.
Oh, we can't talk about that
We-
here,
yeah,
but
yeah,
there were some. I'm not gonna say sharks, but
yeah,
there was some fish.
yeah, yeah.
There was some fish. But anyway, I kept myself together because I'm not. I was never a promiscuous guy, Roger. Never.
Okay, one burner. That's what I like
One
about you.
burner. So I kept myself pure
But you keep bad
until.
company though. But we'll keep it there. You keep bad company. Hey, how do you keep you? Hey, you see, I'm gonna skip the one. I'm just gonna skip over it.
Skip,
How do you
skip,
how do
skip.
you manage your mental health now?
Um, well, I try to lead a healthy lifestyle, which involves eating right and exercising daily, right? So that helps me. It's like when I walk or run in the mornings, I feel so renewed, so refreshed that I don't really. I try not to let things bother me, you know. And then I like listening good contemporary Christian music. So I throw that in my ear and I'm gone, you know. It just keeps me in line. So yeah, yeah. By the way, one of the things that I did during my time of grief was I sought help from a a counselor, just to like grief therapy kind of thing, just to try and get things, out of my mind, that kind of.
A lot of people, they think of the whole counseling and it's all about, but it's either you find a professional or you have a circle of friends that is able to, make sure
Right.
that your head is in the right place. You know what I mean?
And then to top it all off, I have the most wonderful wife.
That's
So
good.
she is very supportive, and she knows how to take care of her man. So she's very very good with that. I mean, not that
That's why you chose her and she didn't choose you. You have to find what you want, That's good. That's
Oh,
good.
Roger, you are something else.
When you think of the future, Paul, are you hopeful?
Absolutely. Yeah. Why
And
would I
why?
not be?
I don't know. November the 5th coming up, and you may not be as happy as you want to be. But I'm
Oh
just
man.
saying. I'm just saying. So are you hopeful for the future?
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Very hopeful.
Did Mannings help shape you at all?
Yes, of course.
In what way?
I mean, well, that's where my real education started. I mean, we go to what they call basic school and primary school, but if you haven't started to develop some kind of solid education when you're in high school, I think a lot of times that's where you determine what do you want to be. So Manning's really, really helped me. I remember, I was always interested in the sciences, maths, physics, chem, bio. That I was very interested in those, and I think my mind was just geared toward, you know, the sciences. Hence, I did computer science.
Who was your
You know,
favorite teacher?
Mr. McLean,
Okay.
Brian McLean.
See, I only remember Mr. Stone. Mr. Stone was just cool. You know what I mean? He looked like he had a red nephew just before class, but he
Oh
knew,
yeah,
Mr. Stone made you want to
yeah,
be an
yeah,
engineer.
yeah,
He had
yeah.
that
Mr.
beard. He was playing
Yeah,
with all the time. He was a manly man.
Mr. Shippey was funny too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The chemistry teacher, yeah. But I like Mr. McLean because I really, really like math. It's funny that even I think it was like 2 weeks ago, my daughter sent me a thing, Dad, can you help me figure out this math problem? And I was like, what are you trying to do? Test me, or you genuinely need my help? So she said, no, no, no. I just want to see if I could get it the way you do it. So, and thank God, my faculties are all still there, so I can figure stuff out.
I have to say to you, I've seen some working out of some, basic mathematics, whether it's long division or
Hmm.
even multiplication. And I've seen Chinese ways of doing this stuff, and I've seen these new age stuff, and I haven't seen anything like that.
Hmm.
Now I just ask AI everything. I can't be bothered to,
Yeah, yeah,
not interested in nothing else
yeah,
but that. So,
yeah.
in finishing up here, what I
Hmm.
wanted to ask you is, being so popular at school,
Really?
well, you're the goalkeeper. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
First
Okay.
11, number one goalkeeper.
Okay. Okay.
Women love nectar. They love the sweetness. So they're all around bees and honey. How
Hmm.
how were you able to stay as pure as you were with all these women at your door?
Oh my God, dude.
Church? Cause they went there at church too.
Well, for me, it was very simple. I just didn't dwell on it. I One thing with my parents, the way I was brought up, Raja, I went to school, I came home, I went to church, I came home, and that's it. School, church, go home. That's it. My father, I have to tell you this because this, to me, I think this is a funny story, but true. My father would never let me play soccer on a Sunday, and hence that's one of the reasons why I didn't pursue, um, training for or playing with Reno. I mean, I played some practice matches with them, but because I all the National League matches were on Sundays, my father said, "No, you're not going to play ball on a Sunday." But you know what? When I moved to New Jersey, I'd go to church still, um, and there I was playing soccer for a team from Honduras, and this guy walked up to me one day after the match, and he goes, "Hey, would you be interested in playing some?" I think it was Division 1 or 2 football, and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." I said, "Why do you think I'm any good?" And he goes, "Look, man, you're the only black guy on the field. You you have to be good." So what they did, rather, this first time I played, I'd say semi-pro, because I'd go to church. When I get home from church, they'd come to my house, they'd pick me up, they'd take me to the game, they would pay me, and then they'd bring me back home. That was the first time I started playing soccer on a Sunday. They do this every Sunday. And I said to myself, if my dad knew that I was doing this kind of stuff, he would be livid. So, but it was good. It was a very lucrative thing because they were paying me, picking me up. I never had to spend any gas or anything. So, and this was a tough league because we played against some guys who played on Jamaica national team. Some of
Wow.
the really good guys. So, it's a good league.
Why do you think our parents were so strict?
I think they just wanted the best for us. They just wanted to know that we were always safe because I could never go to a club. If I used to walk downtown sometimes and all those bars and I see my friends there, I couldn't go in the bar because just certain places they wouldn't let us go. I remember the football team in Sav, which I ended up playing with, Arsenal. A lot of us played for it. Me, Skillo, Silla. I think Gabby played for a while. A whole bunch of us. And my dad wasn't happy with it because there was a time when they went to a match, and when they were coming back, the bus had an accident and one of the guys died also. And he told me, he said, you see that same thing I tell you, I don't want you to go and play any soccer and have to travel with Roger. So I just couldn't do it. And
Wow.
I think they're just very protective and just wanted to make sure, because when I was working at Froome, he told me he didn't want me to play for Reno. He wanted me to play for Froome because if I break my leg playing for Reno, ain't nothing gonna happen. But if I'm playing for Froome, then at least I'm on the job still. So they're more than likely. So
Wow. If you could go
yeah.
back and speak to a young Paul Van Horn, just getting ready to graduate, what would you say to him?
Hey, I would say, my brother, stay focused.
See, you know what's nice about that?
Yeah.
That's your parenting was such your dad's and mum's parenting of you was at
Yeah.
such a high level. There was
I'm
much to
telling
say,
you,
there was much to say.
those two people were the greatest people in the world. I tell you, I look back and I said, man, I miss them. I could always count on them for anything.
Every time I see this whole these Mannings groups and whatever, and I hear about Mannings, and I see we talk. We're all about academic excellence,
Hmm.
and I always wonder: do we miss out a whole group of people in the middle that weren't gonna pass 9 O levels and 5 A levels, but we miss them out because, you know, we're these people that if someone does a bachelor's, them say, You know, I go to the masters, you know, and when you do the
Yeah,
master,
yeah, yeah,
you know, I go to the PhD. And it's like
yeah,
we're never satisfied. Our excellence doesn't, you know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
who, so if you're no lion doctor, who's gonna do the plumbing? Who's gonna do
yeah,
the HVAC, the
yeah, yeah,
garage,
yeah.
you know, the sprinkler system? All of these
Exactly.
jobs are making big money in the US now, normal
Mm-hmm.
jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the jobs them that are gonna get replaced by AI is your
Mm-hmm.
accountant, your doctor, your
Right.
lawyer, because a lawyer, you just think AI, you can look at millions of cases and come to some sort of conclusion of what the, you know what I mean? How do you
Yep. Yep.
compete? How do you compete?
Yeah. 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 They just throw some algorithm in there and it just figures it out. You know.
Yep.
I don't trust it anyway. But that's cool.
Yeah.
I'd rather sit and talk to my doctor. You know.
You do?
Yeah, I'd rather do that.
Well, I will say this to you. I always think that you better advocate for yourself and go online because I don't know about Jamaica, but I know in the US, if you have a good insurance, these doctors will help rinse it out for you. You know what I mean? Just,
Simple.
you know, they'll say, Mr. Van Horn, I notice your fingers a little bit crooked. We have a hand doctor. His name is Peter James. Go see him. And we notice you're walking with a limp. We have
Yeah.
and they're all friends. Go and see Dwight Coote.
Hey,
I studied with him. I know him well.
listen, Roger. That is so true because a couple years ago, when my wife was going through her treatment, um, I was having all kind of problems. I went to the doctor, and the doctor says, this is my primary, my PCP. She said, Paul, I need you to go see a cardiologist. And I'm like, okay. And she goes, and then she used her thing, like old people say, insomnia. But she used her little thing, and she said, yeah, I hear something. I said, okay, if you say that. I went to the cardiologist, and she did her stuff, and she said, well, I don't know. Let's do a stress test. I'd never done a stress test, but I didn't realize that, they were trying to just milk me all the way. So I went, did the stress test. They put me on this treadmill, and she said, okay, I'm going to try and get your heart rate all the way up to about 140. And I told the doctor, I said, Doc, that's going to be impossible. And she said, why? Because I'm on my tread thing every day, and I can't get it up to like 133. So she says, okay. And she puts all these monitors on you. And she said, okay. And she walks out the room and she comes back and she said, still going. Yeah. And they said they put it up, keep, raising the what you call it, the incline and stepping up. And she just couldn't do it. So she stopped and she said, well, let me tell you, whatever is going on is not with your heart. So now she sends me to the ENT. They want to do a balance test. They want to do a hearing test. Of course, my wife said, yes, check his hearing because I don't think he listens to me. So they do that. They can't find anything. Next thing he said, well, did we do a brain MRI? I said, I've never done one. I said, you think we should do it? They said, well, let's do it because, whatever is happening, they did the brain MRI. Nothing. Only to find out that what I've been dealing with was the issue because it just went away as soon as my wife got better.
Wow, wow.
But they milk you for all this stuff, you
Yeah.
know.
That's
So
what these people are all about. Hey, I'm really glad that you were able to be, pretty frank about the grief that you went through and stuff, Paul.
yep.
Another part of your life I want to delve into. So if I said Beanie Man or Bounty Killer, who would you say?
Uh I like them both. In fact, when I play, certain parties and they ask, I like Beanie Man. Beanie Man. I'll say Beanie Man. But I like them both.
What about people like Professor Nuts and them kind of guys?
Like old school days.
Yeah,
Uh Admiral Bailey.
Admiral Bailey, Big Belly Man. Okay. What
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
Ninja Man and people like that? Papa
No.
San.
Papa San. I like Papa San. You
Okay.
know, he part of his career, he became a Christian, so that was cool.
Yeah, they all done that after a while, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So in your car now, if you were to listen to a reggae over and over, who are you listening to?
I like Barry Salmon.
Okay.
Yeah. We recently went to a Buju concert that he had here in Tampa. It, it was okay. It wasn't really my type. I would prefer to listen to singers over DJs, you know. So
Okay.
yeah.
You know Bushman?
Yes, man.
Yeah,
I
Bushman
love
is
it.
mine. I love that's the thing.
Yeah, I like Bushman. I like Mikey Spice. You know,
Luciano is
uh,
mine as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I like the singers. You
Right.
know,
And then you
you know.
sing it, and then you listen to gospel in your car as well.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes.
On a different
Like to do.
radio, or you play the Whirlian music on the same set that you play the Christian music.
Yeah, hey, but who says it's Whirlian music and who says it's Christian music?
I'm just bringing us back to
Hey, you
1978
pick it
when
up,
it was
man. You
strict,
pick
you know,
up.
when it was strict,
Yeah,
when it was strict. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
man.
I listen. I mean, I'm a musician also, right? Because I play music in church.
Okay.
So sometimes I have to listen. I might be playing a line, you know, I play bass guitar, so I might be playing a line, and then I go, you know, this bass line from this reggae song or this secular song might sound really good in this, you know, worship song, and of course I do it, you know. So I'm a musician, and music is music, you know.
Nice, nice,
Yeah,
nice. Hey, so I'm really happy that I got to get you.
yeah,
We're going past a little hour, but I'm glad I got to get you,
yeah, man. We
get to
can go
talk to
another
you and
two
stuff.
hours.
I
We
know, I
can go
know, I
another 2 hours.
know. But you know what I wanna do is I wanna have another little chat with a guy like you. You know why?
Right.
I want a guy like you and a guy like Gabby
Yeah.
tell me why I should vote for someone because of the pigmentation, because of the pigmentation of my skin color. Not that
Yeah.
I disagree with you or you know my politics, because you may not even know my politics or what I stand for. But what I will do, you know what I argue about, because I always
Right.
like balance. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. Yeah.
when I love you for telling me, say, boy, because you are black, or
Hmm.
because you dark, or because you are this, you should do this.
You know
When,
what?
yeah.
I wouldn't tell you that.
Okay, good, good. But you heard it.
No, I.
You've been hearing a lot of this, haven't you, of late?
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard, and you know, people, everyone decides what they want to do.
Yeah.
So, but I would never tell someone that, hey, because this person is, you know, is our pigmentation, that you should vote for this person. You
Barack
know.
done that, and took a made himself, to me, made himself look pretty bad, because he was jumping in the process and telling people what they should be doing and why, which isn't good. But hey,
Huh?
I'm waiting one day when you have enough rum in you. You get Gabby and both of them can put me in a headlock and tell me why, you know? Yeah, man,
This is
yeah, man.
this is all you get from me, bro.
Good, good,
Nice
good.
glass of red wine. My
Nice.
wife poured it out for me and said, "Enjoy this,
Good.
and things will be good later."
I had a cup of tea because I have a sorry life like that. But
Yeah.
Creature, honestly, man, I really appreciate you spending the time and talking to me, man. And I hope
Oh
you
yeah.
come back
Oh
on again, yeah?
yeah. Oh, you know I will, bro. You know I will. You just say the word,
We
but
have a
don't say too quick.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about still, but
Yeah.
once again, I really thank you for being so frank about, especially the grief that you went through and stuff.
No problem. No problem, my brother.
All right, my brother, take care.
All right. Take care, man. God bless, man. Cool.
All right, bye bye.